Good evening, everyone. Welcome along to the Commentary Hub in partnership with JB Sports, Storm FM, and JDAC Football, of course, as well, for some FA Cup coverage, the most wonderful competition in the world. Me and JB were just talking about there a moment ago. JB, of course, is the man on the mic for this game between Gateshead and Charlton Athletic. He'll have Chris Whiteman alongside him as well. And we're going to go straight over to JB. He'll run you through the two sides and how they look. And then we'll have Chris come through in a few moments as well to sort of co-commentate alongside JB. But first, over to the main man himself in the commentary box. JB, how's things looking in terms of the lineups? How are the two sides lining up this evening?
Well, I'll bring you the two lineups in just a second, but I just want to welcome you here. Thank you, Mike. But I want to welcome you here to the Gateshead International Stadium. Now, this is more famous for track and field, you may remember. So this is more famous. It's not famous merely for football. It's actually famous for people like Linford Christie, Chris Akabusi, Sally Gunnell, and, of course, Tessa Sanderson and Fatima Whitbread in the javelin many years ago. Of course, Linford Christie and Carl Lewis had their famous duel back in 1993 on a Friday night, ironically on ITV, believe it or not, in the olden days. But that was in the summer. This is in the winter. Of course, Gateshead also home to great long-distance runners of Steve Cram and, of course, the great Brendan Foster, who broke the mile record at this very stadium back in 1974. But it's not about football. This is we're looking at Gateshead here, established way back in 1977 when they were then called Gateshead United, but the team folded. But let's me run through the sides then. So both teams incidentally are going to play 4-4-2. So it's Chapman in goal, and then it's Nicholson, Story, and Williamson. Story and Williamson. Mike Williamson is the former Newcastle centre-back who's player manager at the club, and he will partner Story, who's the player coach, in the back four, the central of the back four, with Bailey on the left-hand side. And then we've got Ollie, Tinkler, Ward, and Campbell in midfield, and then Langstaff and Scott, who has 17 goals as a partnership between them this season. Langstaff has got 10 goals, and Scott has 7 this season. Hunter, Blackett, Williams, Panny, Wanwell, and Jacob are the substitutes. But Charlton, under their caretaker manager Johnny Jackson, a former Charlton player himself, they line up with Henderson in goal. Then it's Clare, Eruru, Fomaru, and Purrington. And then it's Jaismith, Gilby, Dobson, Lee, and then Connor Washington, the former QPR man up front, and Stockley, who's the top scorer with 8 goals. Washington not far behind with 5. McGreary, Chris Gunter, Morgan, John Lecco, Kirk, Harry Harter, former Premier League player, Davidson, Ben Watson, who won the cup with Wigan not too long ago, and Soler. The referee tonight comes way up from Birmingham. There's Ollie there, the captain of Gateshead, and there's Tom Reeves of Birmingham. 2 assistants, Tom Bickerdike and David Avon. Seb Stockbridge, the 4th official, and thankfully, no VAR. Thank the Lord tonight. Hopefully, we'll have Chris Whiteman there. Are you there, Chris?
Chris is still not here at the moment, but just briefly before he's going to be joining in a second, but we will be bringing updates on Rotherham against Stockport this evening as well. And I'll quickly just run through those lineups. It's Vickers, Edmondson, Wood, Ikwe, Ogbone, Wiles, Barlaser, Miller, Rathbone, Ladapo, and Smith for the hosts. And then Hinchcliffe, Barkley, Palmer, Kitchen, Southam, Hales, Collard, Crosdale, Rydell, Sarcevic, Crankshaw, and Quigley are the 2 starting lineups for that one. And we do have Chris back as well now. So we'll hand over ready for kick-off, and probably just kicked off now, in fact, to JB and Chris Whiteman on co-comms duty this evening.
Thanks very much. The players taking in the ongoing fight against racism, and the Charlton get us away then. Thanks, Mike. So Chris is alongside me. We'll bring him in just a second. We're live from the Gateshead International Stadium. The ball out for the throw-in. And isn't it great, Chris, to be back with you, reunited? We haven't commentated. The last time we commentated together was way back in February. It's nice to be back reunited as a duo again.
Yes, it is. It's I had to jump through so many technical hoops to try and get this Yeah, we'll not dwell on the technical side of things. Yeah, it's great to be back, and it's great to be back to commentate on the FA Cup once again.
Yeah, and here's Langstaff with an early cross there for Gateshead from the right-hand side, but it's away for a throw-in. How do you think this one will go tonight? Because Gateshead are a full-time side going for promotion in the Conference North. This could be a tricky old trip there for Charlton tonight, you would think.
Yeah, Gateshead are on a great run of form as well. I think they're on a 3-game winning streak at the minute in their division. They've been doing pretty well. They're in the playoff positions, as you say. And the National League North is a very competitive division. There's Hereford FC down in that division with them as well, the famous Phoenix club from good old Hereford. So I dare say they will keep Charlton honest tonight. That's a certainty.
And another shot came in there for the right-footed, and it's over the top for a goal kick. So Gateshead starting well. And that's Ward, in fact, number 12 with the shot there, which went well wide of Henderson's goal there. But nice to see the underdogs on the front foot. There were 61 places, incidentally, between the sides. Gateshead, as you say, going for challenging for promotion, 5th in the National League North, as an early touch there for Chapman in the Gateshead goal. And, of course, Charlton, who, after a long struggle, sacking a manager, now Johnny Jackson in temporary charge, are 15th in League One. So there's a 61 place gap between the sides, but Gateshead starting well. Gateshead, for the record, are in black and white. They've got the checks on the front. And Charlton in their famous red shirts, white shorts, and red stockings. Our side flag there, free kick to Gateshead. And of course, I had Russell alongside me on the co-coms on Wednesday night for a glamorous game. But this really, to me, Chris, is like this is proper football. You know, the Merseyside derby, great glamour sort of game. But these sort of games, Chris, this is what you live and breathe football for, isn't it?
It is. It means so much at this level for teams like Gateshead and all that to be playing. I mean, Charlton are a big team. Let's not forget they're a big London-based side. They've been in the Premier League before. It's a great challenge for Gateshead tonight, and it will mean so much to the fans.
And of course, the carrot of a third-round draw potentially for a Premier League club if Gateshead were to get through tonight, but they've got to defend a Charlton corner on the far side here, and it's going to be a corner then to Charlton on the far side then. 20 forward there. Washington is right on the line. So too is Awery there, number 50. As the corner comes in far side, it's a difficult one, and a header behind. It will be another corner to Charlton. And now after a good bit of early pressure at the start, with 3 and a bit minutes gone on all TCM platforms. Of course, Chris is making his commentary hub debut, incidentally, tonight. But it's nice to have him with us again. It's nice to have him alongside me, actually. But anyway, corner kick, and again, it's Lee to take it from the near side this time. He takes the corners from both sides as Lee, and it goes then towards the back post, punched away by Chapman. Got decent enough distance, and it enabled Ollie to get across there, but he's lost possession. Shot came in, charged away, then it's knocked back in there by Dobson. And in fact, Dobson was fouled there in the midway inside the Gateshead half, and a free kick to Charlton.
Yeah, some good early pressure from Charlton, but you would expect that in this kind of scenario.
Yeah, barely the offender there of on Dobson, and Lee again is going to take the free kick. I think he takes all the set pieces for Charlton. Going to be right-footed into that Gateshead penalty box towards the back post. Washington was lurking. Of course, former QPR striker Connor Washington. And Mike Williamson, the former Newcastle centre-half, now player manager at the club now. And, of course, he's the manager, but, of course, Ollie's the actual captain of the side. So he leads on the field. Williamson definitely in the dressing room as Lee prepares to take another corner from the left-hand side. Right-footed. Deeper one this time, in fact, way past everybody else. And it gives an opportunity now for Ward to clear on the far side. In fact, he lets it go for a Gateshead throw. And remember, the third round draw for this, incidentally, just in case anyone's listening in to this broadcast on all TCM platforms, plus Periscope, Twitter and Twitch, if you're wondering when the draw for the third round is going to be, it's going to be at 6:45 on Monday night before Boreham Wood take on St Albans in that final game of the weekend. Of course, we've got Rotherham, of course, in action against Stockport County, who had that magnificent 5-3 victory in that that game at Edgeley Park against Bolton that Mike did for you. Mike did a couple of weeks ago, and what a tie it was. I must admit, Chris, I was quite jealous not being able to do that game because it was an absolute epic that time. But with 6 minutes, we've got 6 minutes almost gone. I think Charlton now just beginning to get their foothold in the game a little bit more. But here come the checkered shirts of Gateshead, of course. Gateshead famous for the likes of Christie, Cram, and Brendan Foster rather than for football. But let's see if we're going to see any Friday night heroes in this part of the world. Of course, St James's Park just 2 miles away from here as Clark comes charging forward for Charlton, but the ball goes straight forward to Chapman. We've had 6 minutes of the first half, Chris. Early thoughts on how the game's gone?
Kind of as expected, really. Gateshead just feeling their way into the game, as are Charlton. It's early doors. Obviously, fitness may become a thing later on, but right now everyone's going to be up for it. And it's Charlton, I think, just getting used to the pitch, I would say, because it feels massive, but I guess you get that impression with the kind of stand design you got at this stadium.
Yeah, it's an athletic stadium, essentially, because obviously it's more famous for the athletics than it is for football, although Gateshead have been playing there for a very long time. Absolutely. As I say, they were refounded in 1978. They are a Phoenix Club from the old Gateshead United. Free kick for foul again by the captain, Ollie, on number 4, Dobson, who's been fouled 1 or 2 times already in this opening 7 minutes. Still 0-0 if you've just joined us here. Of course, I'm actually on YouTube simultaneously. Not only am I across 4 TCM platforms tonight, Chris, like you are tonight as well, alongside me, but I'm also appearing on the Trevor Sports platform in about 5 minutes for the virtual third round draw. Because me and Russ have actually we recorded numbers for the third round draw, and we're actually we're in character as Motson and Gubber actually. Acting like we're the Challenge Cup committee, and we're drawing the 64 teams out that velvet bag. You can, if you want to watch that a bit later on Trevor Sports, you can do after you've listened to this coverage of this game. And don't forget, Chris's Raven West series is also available. Round 1, of course, what a first round that was in Australia. If you haven't seen it, check it out. It is fantastic. The rise of Raven West, Chris's Formula 1 series. You can watch that on his channel, the Virtual Sports Network. And there we are, a bit of cross promotion there amongst friends, and now back in the action now with the.
I'll send you the tenner in the post.
Absolutely. Here's Chapman with the kick forward, headed on, and it's out for a goal kick to Gateshead. There's Langstaff, the top scorer with 10. Scott has got 7 this season. So, as I said at the start, 17 goals between them this season. We haven't had a goal yet at Rotherham, but we'll cross the mic for an early update of that in a second or two once we get a break in play. As we look at Mike Williamson there, the former Newcastle defender, now player-manager at the club. He's been player-manager, in fact, for 3 years. And, of course, Story is his player coach, or assistant, if you like. As Vomeru will take the throw-in for Charlton, just short of halfway, has to go back to the edge of his own penalty area, where Aroe's centre-back partnership, try and say that quickly, gets the ball, but the ball's been lost, and there's a chance here now. Here's Ward towards the far side. Good challenging there by number 7 there, Jay Samami. But when he's dispossessed Ward really well, showed great strength and great composure. And Ward, to be fair, was quite honest there. And the free kick has been awarded, or is it? I think it might be a throw-in, actually, to Charlton. Yeah, it looks like it's going to be a throw-in, in fact, for Charlton. But Ward there just showing his worth down that left-hand side there, Chris. And could have caused Charlton 1 or 2 problems. In fact, it's a free kick to Charlton. We've had 10 minutes almost gone. 0-0.
Yeah, good old physicality down at this level. It's... some would say it's a little bit out of fashion these days with a lot of passing and all that, but it's old school stuff, very much a heartthrob of British football, that kind of style.
Oh, absolutely. I mean, we saw a rare sight at Villa Park the other night, Manchester City against Villa in the Premier League the other night. We actually saw a contested drop ball, which is a very rare occurrence in this day and age. Anyway, here comes Charlton coming forward again, the ball behind everybody. And guess who the referee was that night? I don't think you'll need to ask. I don't think you'll need to answer this too easily, too difficultly. I'll tell you anyway. Mike Dean. Mike Dean, yes. Not one for being shy and retiring is Mike Dean, that's for sure. But it's not Mike Dean in charge tonight. We've got Tom Reeves of Birmingham in charge. And isn't it refreshing to actually commentate on a game? I've commentated on nearly 30. I've covered nearly 30 games this season, and this is probably about the third or fourth game I've covered in that time for the TC Hub where we haven't had VAR. And do you know what, Chris? It is a relief.
It's great not to worry about it, isn't it? It's just, we go with the flow. If the referee makes a bad call because he hasn't seen it right, then we just live with it and move on. There's none of this faffing about with talking in ears and all that.
Oh, absolutely. I'll tell you what.
Goal line technology might, I don't know I think it's here, but that's about as far
No,
as
it's not. I don't think it's there. No, I don't think it's there. I don't think non-league ground and that. So I don't think we've got goal line technology either tonight. But I'll tell you what. This is what we should be doing. This is what football was made for. Good old-fashioned proper football game, and it's certainly been that way so far. Just need to go to like the blue touch paper. And I should also tell you, Chris, as Williamson in a bit of a tangle here. There's a chance here for Lee now. Bit of a mistake there. And now a chance now for Lee. Left-hand side. He's got Purrington on the overlap. Lee gets the crossing. It's too close to Chapman, and the Gateshead. The danger for Gateshead has subsided for the moment anyway. But I should also tell you, Chris.
The glare he just gave his centre backs was just, what were you doing?
I should also tell you, Chris, that since I joined the TC Hub in June for the Euros, I have not had a live 0-0 draw. So I've had plenty. I've always had at least one goal. The only 0-0 I've done for the TC Hub was a recorded 0-0 between Burnley, who helps, and Norwich. But that's the only one I've ever done so far in my time with the commentary hub. But hopefully we'll get plenty of goals. Of course, just to remind any listeners, even though it's a cup tie tonight, it's not like the League Cup where it's going to be decided on the night. We will have replay. If it ends a draw after 90 minutes, there will be no extra time, no penalties. It will be a replay at the Valley on Tuesday week. Just to reiterate, no extra time, no penalties tonight, only 90 minutes. Here's Washington inside the area, shoots left-footed, deflects, but it's an easy save for Chapman. And Charlton now, Chris, with 13 minutes gone, starting to get into the groove. It's 0-0.
Well, I don't think Gateshead have really had a shot, have they? So they're very much starving them of any opportunities to cause an upset so far, which is very much by the book. But obviously Gateshead had a little wobble just a moment ago, but they've composed themselves. So, as you say, it just needs a goal, really, at this point. Whether Gateshead catch Charlton napping or whether Charlton make this early dominance pay.
Well, we'll soon find out. But this is the FA Cup. It can make a fool of anyone trying to predict a scoreline here. That's why I don't predict for cup ties anymore, or Premier League games for that matter, when I cover football now. I predicted Maxwell Corney would score on Wednesday, and he didn't even get anywhere close.
Did you make any predictions on England versus Latvia in the women's game?
Funnily enough, no, I didn't. Anyway, here's a chance now at the other end for Ward. Inside the area, Ward has to check back. He goes down, but I think that was a fair enough shoulder barge there by Dobson. So that's a fair enough shoulder charge there. But just for a moment there, it looked as if Gateshead had got him behind, but Dobson just showed why he's so physicality. In the other game, incidentally, no goals in the game between Rotherham and Stockport County, incidentally, as we see Ward, Chris, try and break away and cause one or two heart-stopping moments for the Charlton defence.
Yeah, it wasn't a penalty. He kind of went over a bit easy. I don't know. I think he could have stayed on his feet, to be honest. I think he was trying to buy a penalty there.
Well, he's not going to fool Tom Reeves, the referee, that's for sure, as he hits it into open space, and it's going to be picked up by Yasmini here, but it's going to be a throw-in anyway to Charlton. So we've had a quarter of an hour of the first half here on the TC Hub, also on JB Sports, JDAC Football, Storm FM, which is Mike's channel, and of course TC Hub 2, which funnily enough is Russ's channel. We're also on Periscope, Twitter and Twitch, and we're also on as the ball is knocked out for a Gateshead throw-in. We're also on Twitter. The Twitter handle is at Commentary Live 1, incidentally. And, of course, we have a Facebook page, www.facebook.com/The Commentary Hub. Self-explanatory, really. Anyway, here's Langstaff, number 7. And here's Ollie, number 10. Langstaff offering a bit of overlapping support down that right-hand side. And Scott was there too. And here's the number 3 now knocking the ball in. Tinkler, good football this. Scott inside the penalty area. Scott shoots. Oh, just into the side netting. And Henderson could not have seen that till late. And if Scott had got that on target, there may have been a question mark whether Henderson would have saved that or not, Chris. But a real bright opening there for Gateshead, and it was a well-worked move.
It was indeed. The check back and then the excellent bit of skill to put the defender on his backside. It's just a shame he couldn't hit the target with that. Very close. I think if he goes far post instead of near post, he probably buries that.
Absolutely. I mean, that's a great opportunity. And that'll give Gateshead and Mike Williamson a lot of confidence there, obviously, because they have been tentative. As you said, Chris, they didn't have a shot in anger before just now, but that'll give them a lot of confidence. And, of course, just to let you know, just to finish off the mentions, Melon app is the streaming app for our streaming app partner for the season, www.melonat.com. And, of course, we'll have more live FA Cup football for you tomorrow. Russ Vernon will be in Buxton, the home of the old mineral water, for the game between Buxton and Morecambe. Of course, Buxton knocked out York City in the last round at their new ground. Not the Kit Kat Crescent, not the old Kit Kat Crescent, as we used to associate with them. The old running joke about that. It was their new ground as the cross comes in. That's on at tomorrow lunchtime. I think it's about 12:30 kickoff, and then Mike will be on your airways tomorrow with Stephen Ish's latest tie. That'll be at 5:15 on all TCM, both games on TCM platforms as well. And then you'll have, hopefully, Ryan Francis on Monday night for the Wolverhampton Opens game on Monday night. Plus, we'll have the third round draw for you as well. So plenty of good FA Cup football and a bit of Premier League thrown in for good measure over the weekend on the Commentary Hub. So plenty of good football for you listeners and subscribers and you loyal listeners to look forward to. Please, of course, if you are commenting tonight, keep your comments clean. We are a family show. Ball up forward there towards number 14, which was Washington, and the ball knocked out for a throw-in. Level with the 18-yard box of Gateshead by the manager himself, Williamson, and Purrington now will take the throw-in here. Of course, there isn't the big crowds that
player managers in non-league. It's something else, isn't it? I remember Edgar Davids was being player manager for Barnet a few seasons ago.
Barnet, yes, a few years ago.
That was
I think our host will remember that very fondly as well. Anyway, I mean, it's not exactly a full house here at the International Centre, International Stadium in Gateshead. Of course, Alan Shearer's here tonight as well, cheering the local team on. Chris Waddle's in attendance as well. Former Charlton player Graham Stewart is there too. So plenty of ex-Premier League players taking a vested interest in this game, as well as national television. The game being televised on ITV4 tonight. So a great opportunity for Gateshead to really put their players, who are all, 7 of them have former Newcastle connections, to really put themselves in a short window. As Purrington gets the crossing from the left, but it's well taken again by Chapman, who so far, Chris, with 19 minutes goal, what he's had to do, he's done very competently and very well. Still 0-0.
Yeah, he's caught the ball well. He's positioned himself excellently. Nothing really to worry about on his side of things.
The flag has stayed down. The flag has stayed down, but the goalkeeper Henderson's got it right on the edge of the penalty area. I think Gateshead are trying to claim he got the ball outside the area. I think it's hard to tell, really. I don't think it was outside the area. I think it was just inside.
He was well in. You could have got a bus through that gap.
Oh, we've missed your commentary puns, Chris. Oh, we've missed them on doing that. Let's have a look at it again in closer inspection. Yeah, that's fine. Yeah, as you say.
As long as
maybe
you
got a bus on a van through that.
That doesn't matter.
I think you might have got 2 double-deckers through that, to be quite honest with you. Anyway, here's a chance for Charlton. Crossing up on the right and knocked away by the defender there. Story for a corner. And now it's real desperation time here for Gateshead. 20 gone. They'll be pleased with the start that they've made here, but it's still no goals here in this second round FA Cup. Of course, the winners are placed in the third round, where all 20 teams in the Premier League, 44 teams from the top two leagues, from Premier League and Championship, will be then thrusted into the hat. If Gateshead were to win and get Manchester United here, what a coup that could be. But we're a long way off talking about things like that now. Free kick to Gateshead, foul one of their players, and a free kick there.
Manchester United. What if they got Newcastle United? That'd be quite the local derby, wouldn't it?
I tell you what, it'd be meaty. It's offside, in fact, that's been given. Yeah, I'll tell you what, it'd be meaty. Sunderland, maybe Middlesbrough, North East sides.
I don't know if they're still in it.
Well, Spartans, I'm not sure they are in it, to be honest with you.
They were the last time they were in the FA Cup. Alan Shearer showed up to them as well, so I'm not going to say he's a loyal fan.
Well, yeah, it was a famous Friday night cup tie. I remember very much against was it Hartlepool? They won 2-1.
Yeah, he was there. He was having some stick for his hairline, I think.
Yeah, Mike's reported him just to keep you updated that Miller's just missed an opportunity for Rotherham. And Miller shot right for a free kick as well. So still 0-0 in that game at the New York Stadium. Well, funnily enough, Russ is actually watching tonight. He's actually got a ticket for that game, and he's braving the cold conditions at the New York Stadium. Well, he's not in New York; he's in Rotherham actually. But it
always makes me chuckle, that stadium now.
Oh, I know. I don't know where they got that one from. They must have had a raffle of names and then plucked one out the air, plucked it out of the hat or something. But anyway, it's a corner here in Gateshead as Charlton now try to seize and try and get this opening goal here. The side that lie 15th in League One have a corner. Lee's going to take it. There's Johnny Jackson, their caretaker manager, and maybe things are starting to calm down a little bit in the Valley. Maybe they're in a better place than what they were a number of years ago, of course, when they had a succession of managers and a succession of owners, which never quite worked out. As the corner comes in from Lee towards the back post, and Stockley was up there, but the ball back with Dobson.
Charlton having the unique privilege of having an inflatable trophy presented to an opposition side.
Yes, of course. Charlton was the same when Burnley won the championship title back in 2016, of course. And, of course, they couldn't have the presentation at the time because of the protesting Charlton supporters, and they threw tennis balls and things like that. I seem to remember that day. But we sort of soured the Burnley celebrations a bit. Anyway, here comes Charlton. Ball inside the penalty area, and the ball loops up and over Chapman's crossbar for a goal kick to Charlton. So we're halfway to Gateshead, rather. So we've had just over halfway through the first half, 23 minutes gone here at the Gateshead International Arena. Possible penalty shout not given, of course.
No.
And well, that's what you call emphatic from Chris. So how the game? Well, how do you think the first 23 minutes has gone from a cup tie point of view? Been a good watch, hasn't it, really?
It's finely poised, you know. As much as Charlton are dominating possession, they haven't really had a major chance that has caused the goalkeeper problems. Gateshead very much the same, barring that one. It's the only shot they've had. So I think that both teams have settled in well. Gateshead know what they're up against, and they know what they've got to do to try and force a chance, which is basically counter-attack when Charlton commit too far forward. And then, obviously, second half, we'll see how things go with tired minds and legs. But for now, it's very much going as the script says, which is Charlton on top, but Gateshead very much still in this.
Very much still in it. And, of course, to add to the actual intensity of this, actually, I should also say that Gateshead are not part-timers. They are a full-time side. They don't train twice a week like some teams did in the previous round, like the likes of St Albans and teams like that. Dagenham and Redbridge are a full-time club as well. We saw them in the last round come up very short against Salford, and I did that game for the TC Hub. A terrific Monday night fair, which saw Salford win after just 3 minutes, but Dagenham and Redbridge were very unlucky not to enter in the app. But if Salford are going to have it easy next round on Sunday against Chesterfield, who are leading the National League at the moment, I think they're in for a rude awakening right now, Gary Bowyer's side. And, of course, what a chance! What a day it's going to be in the spring water town of Buxton, of course. Here's a chance now for Charlton, and it's Washington now getting down that far side. Has he gone down now? What's the referee giving here? Free kick, I think, is the decision, or is it?
I think he's given a goal kick after that.
Goal kick, I think he's been given. Yeah. Let's see if this was a free kick or not, Russ. We'll just see. Chris, sorry. Nah, not for me. What do you reckon?
He went down after the challenge. After he went past the challenge. Bit of an on that.
Yeah. And as soon as we get a breaking point, we're going to go to Mike Hardiman at the New York Stadium. Let's see what happens here, because we've got a chance here now inside the penalty area. Oh, and a chance on the far side. Big chance. Oh, and it's over the top. It's end-to-end stuff now. And Gateshead had a chance there to go in the lead and have blazed it over. There was some good work here by the number 7 for Gateshead. It was Langstaff who got away here. Let's see. And I don't know who it came to, actually. He was blindside to me. And in the end, his right-footed shot went over the top. What a chance, Chris, for Gateshead.
Like I said, this is how they're going to have to play, which is catching Charlton napping when they commit too far forward. They got caught there. It was a big opportunity. He was in plenty of space. I felt like they just dallied on the ball just a little too long. And then obviously he blazed over the bar with his right foot.
Yeah, and they've got another chance here, potentially here. If Scott can get on the end of it, he's been fouled there, or he's been shoved to the ground, but the referee doesn't want to know. And Gateshead are not very happy. I think it was Campbell who had the chance just a minute or two ago. We will come to Mike shortly. In fact, I think we can go to him right now. Let's go to Mike Hardiman for an update on Rotherham against Stockport.
So 26 minutes played here, and it was the away side that very nearly went 1-0 up. Quigley with the effort, turned wonderfully on the edge of the area and struck a venomous shot, which was tipped over the top by Vickers in the Rotherham goal. But, both sides are going to be very, very pleased. They both had chances to go ahead so far. The non-league side are certainly not out of this by any stretch of imagination. They're given as good as they've got at the moment. So 26 played, and it still remains Rotherham 0, Stockport County 0.
Yeah, and Rotherham, I've got to watch Stockport County at their peril. They certainly proved what they did over 2 matches against Bolton Wanderers. The first game at the Macron finished 2-2, you may remember. Terrific match that was, and then this replay at Edgeley Park was even better, as Mike alluded to in his commentary there some week and a half ago. So 28 minutes gone in our main event here on the TC Hub and all TC Hub YouTube and Periscope, Twitter and Twitch platforms. It's Gateshead 0, Charlton 0 in the second round of the FA Cup. For the winners, a place in the third round. For the losers, it's league football to concentrate on for the rest of the season. So plenty to whet the appetite here. Terrific first half. Still haven't had any goals across the 2 games that we've got across for you now, as the ball is not long there by Stockley looking for Washington, and Chapman got there just in the nick of time. Connor Washington, a very prolific striker. Even in his days at QPR, he's a striker who knows where the back of the net is all right. But I look at the benches, and you look at Gateshead's substitutes bench, and you look at Charlton's, and obviously Charlton's has got the most strength and the most experience. Of course, an FA Cup winner on their bench in Ben Watson, of course, and Harry Arter, a terrific industrious midfield player who played in the Premier League in his days at Bournemouth. So Charlton have plenty of reserves to call upon if they're struggling in this game. Ball played into the penalty area, knocked away, and then the shot comes in and over the top or wide from Lee, in fact, with the left foot for a goal kick. So Gateshead 0, Charlton 0, and looking at the 2 substitutes benches, I mean, obviously Charlton has the better substitute bench, as you well know, Chris, CW. But I do worry about the Gateshead bench. There's only about six of them there, and you look at that, and it's double that for the Charlton players.
Well, that's the massive gap. I say massive gap. It's not huge, but that's the difference between these 2 sides, really, in terms of quality and quantity. It's Charlton have a plethora of players available to them. They've undoubtedly got a really big academy as well. There's a chance here.
There is a chance, and the flag is stayed down, and it's Washington. Washington to the left-hand side. Washington shoots across the goal, and he's been turned in at the back post. Charlton going front. Washington made it. And I don't know who got that touch, but it's a 1-0 anyway. And Charlton and their 400 supporters who had made the nearly 300-mile journey up the M1 and the A1. And I can tell you that I think Gimbley got the touch. Or Gilby got the touch. Let's have a look at it. Well, he was onside, I thought, Chris. Anyway, Washington got in there. And then the ball was hooked back. It wasn't, in fact. It was Stockley, the captain, who scored. So apologies there if I got the wrong scorer. It's not often I do these two sides. But Stockley has scored for Charlton with a free header. A header from 3 yards out. And my terrific run for the TCO continues with not covering a live goal as drawn. But the more important thing, Chris, that Charlton have got themselves that opening goal, and they needed that really to stem off, to really settle things down for them.
Yeah, well, they've, as I said, they've kind of dominated the game so far and isolated Gateshead to a couple of countering chances, but that goal will just help them settle the nerves, give them that bit of relief that they're not having to chase a goal and worry about a replay at the minute at a 0-0, as that ball was just fired off the pitch. But yeah, the pressure's paid dividends and deservedly lead, I guess. They've not really had a major chance, but they've given themselves the first major chance of the game and they've taken it straight away. So it's well played, Charlton.
Absolutely well played indeed. And it's 1-0 now. Gateshead do have a throw-in line on the 18-yard box of Charlton on the far side. They're not out of this by any means, Gateshead, so they've still got everything still to play for in this second round tie. Remember, it can't be decided. If it is decided today, it will be an outright winner that decides it on the night here tonight. If it ends a draw, we go to a replay at the Valley. Just to make that perfectly clear, this is not like the League Cup where it goes to penalties, straight to penalties at the end of the game. We've got the replays back up until I think the 4th, maybe 5th round again this year, and it's good to have the replays back. Always nice to see it. And I think sometimes a replay is actually better than the actual first game, funnily enough, as Stockport County fans.
Right? He looks like he's a little. He doesn't look great. He's kind of limping about a little bit.
Yeah, I've noticed that too, Chris. He doesn't look too good there. May have injured himself in scoring that goal. It was a brave. I know, in fact, it's not. It's the number 3, Purrington, I think. He's actually feeling his shin by the looks of it. And Stockley is down. You are right. I think there's a couple of Charlton players who are feeling it a bit. And the referee's calling the physiotherapist on. So the captain might be in some need of medical attention. You're quite right, Chris. And this would be a blow for Charlton, but they do have, as I say, the likes of Lecco, Arter, Kirk, Watson, Soleil. So they've got quality in that substitutes bench. Should Johnny Jackson wish to use that?
Yeah, he's holding his hip, so it could be. I mean, he didn't have to jump much for that header, so I can't see what the problem may have been.
Well, let's hope it's nothing too serious for him. I think that's the first thing we need to shout out. Remember, we've got 2 live cup ties, of course, 3 live commentaries, of course, from the FA Cup as well as this one all weekend. We've got with Ross tomorrow, where he makes the short trip from Rotherham to Buxton, the home of the old spring water. Other waters are available, by the way. Both Corporation and spring water, by the way. All different waters available, but Buxton take on Morecambe, who are going very good, doing really well to hold their own in League One, but it'll be a tricky old test for them. That's tomorrow lunchtime. You'll hear that on the TCM. And also tomorrow evening, Stevenage are in action in their second round tie. That will be with Mike. A big Stevenage fan, by the way, at 5:15 on the TCM. And then we've got St Albans versus Boreham Wood against St Albans. The conquerors of Forest Green Rovers, of course, in round 1. One of the big shocks of round 1 when they came back and won 3-2. And Purrington goes down that left-hand channel, gets the cross in, hits the defender, which was Tinkler, and a corner kick to Charlton Athletic as we come up towards the final sort of last 10 minutes or so of the first half at the Gateshead Arena, the International Stadium. As I say, more famous for Ledford Christie and Brendan Foster than for the goal-scoring prowess of Gateshead FC. But anyway, here's Lee from the short corner. Lee might try the shot. Lee shoots. Little dummy there by Stockley, which tried to put Chapman off, but he wasn't having any of it, the Gateshead keeper. And now here comes Gateshead now trying to get Ward in behind again. It's been very difficult here. Here's Mike Williamson back to Ward. And as I say, it's been very difficult for Gateshead. Here's Mike Williamson, the experienced man, the manager, the player manager, the man that makes everything tick. And then the ball back to Tinkler, who's now finding Chapman. And let's check in with we'll check in a moment with Mike at the New York Stadium. The ball out of play, so I think it's a good time to check in with Mike with another progress report on Rotherham against Stockport. Mike.
Thank you very much. So, yeah, still remains goalless. There's still been chances for either side, really. But there's, neither side able to break that deadlock at the moment. Last chance coming for Rotherham just a moment ago with Wiles. Saw in his effort take a deflection and end up being tipped away by Hinchcliffe. But, still remains goalless and still awaiting that first real clear-cut opportunity anyway.
Thanks, Mike. And we'll be hearing from him at half-time in our half-time sequence. Of course, he's also dubbing up as our host as well as reporter tonight. So, Mike across speaks for us at the New York Stadium. Me and Chris up in the northeast as the ball is knocked forward again towards Langstaff. And the ball is knocked out for a corner now. Or it might be a throw-in, actually. But anyway, one or the other. It's a set piece for Gateshead. And they need to make something of this now. I think it will be a throw in line almost with the 18-yard box of Charlton. Here's an opportunity now for them to come forward now with Tinkler inside the penalty area. And again, away by Charlton. It'll be another Gateshead throw-in. We're now going to the final 10 minutes of a really competitive first half with a goal from Stockley. And Stockley, that's his 9th goal of the season, incidentally, for Stockley. That puts Charlton into the lead, the League One side lead. As the ball now played in there for Langstaff, who shoots and he hits his own man. And Langstaff again, oh dear me, and it might have been whizzing into the back of the net as well. Langstaff hit this superbly well, Chris. And if only his strike partner Scott had not been in the way, you just wonder whether that might have been going in. It might have actually been creeping wide, maybe on the post. Who knows?
I think the goalkeeper had it covered. He was on the ground by the time it had rebounded. But either way, it still would have needed saving, I reckon. But that's just unlucky, really.
Yeah, just sums up their night so far. But if they can get in at 1-0 down, they've got every chance in the second half. They are fit aside, and a lot of non-league teams out there at the moment as Perrington tries to go forward. He's hooked away by Williamson. Looking towards Scott, headed away once more. Ward will jump with that alongside Dobson, who won the header quite well. Ball played in there, and here's Langstaff. He'll get in behind. He's got Scott waiting in the middle, but Langstaff was, I thought, wrestled to the ground there. The referee, has he given a free kick? No, he hasn't. He's given a throw-in, and it's going to be.
He's not giving a lot tonight, is he? The referee. He's
very. Yeah, he's quite reluctant, Mr. Reeves of Birmingham. That's for sure. Here is Tinkler again, and he'll get another opportunity now to. Well, I thought he might have got the ball back, but he's gone back towards Story. Now the number 2 Nicholson getting it forward up towards Ward. Ball out of play. Will be a throw in to Gateshead. And they just need to.
Gateshead Central.
Gateshead Central cabs. Well, if you need a cab in Gateshead tonight, we know who to call. We know who to call tonight, Chris, don't we? Anyway, here's a chance for Gateshead inside the penalty area and across the face of the goal and behind for a goal kick. But Gateshead in the last 2 or 3 minutes beginning to find a way into this game.
Yeah, Charlton, as I said, they've gotten a bit comfy in possession. Now all of a sudden, the last couple of minutes, they've had their backs against the wall. I reckon they'll be looking to get to half time with this 1-0 lead intact. I reckon the way this is going.
Absolutely. Also, whilst I was off there, I'm about to sort out a friend of mine who tried to ring me on Messenger, which is not very helpful. Did they not realise I'm commentating? Never mind. It's amazing, really, Chris, when you think about it. When you're not busy, they don't mind you. When you're busy, they always seem to mind you. I don't get it. I don't get it. Anyway, back to the football. And we've got about 5 minutes of this intriguing first half to go. 0-0 in the other game. Just to remind you that Rotherham and Stockport are played.
Look at this. Everyone with their big coats on.
Yeah. In fact, most of the Charlton fans might be making a weekend of it if they win tonight. Of course, the North East is quite famous for its night out. I hear Newcastle is a very good night out, Chris, I believe. So we'll have to see. But it's going very well for Johnny Jackson and his side. Of course, Johnny Jackson, the caretaker manager. Here's Ollie now going forward. And a chance here now. Shot comes in. Great save from Campbell. And Campbell again and wide. Oh, Campbell had 2 goals in that. And Adam Campbell, the former Newcastle man, had the opportunity not once but twice, Chris, from the left-hand side to tie it up at 1-1. And really, he should have scored on really both occasions.
Well, he should score the first time, but the goalkeeper's made an excellent save with his left hand, strong left hand. It falls back to Adam Campbell, and then I think he's just sliced it wide. It's a great opportunity for Gateshead, but they don't want to be regretting these missed chances, because you're not going to get many in these games, and well, they've missed that one.
Well, they might get another chance here. They might still get a chance here. Campbell playing forward, and there's a little bit of a collision inside the area. The referee again doesn't. He's got to stop it here.
Stop that.
And I tell you what, Scott's involved, and I can't tell who the Charlton player is, but let's try and work this one out, Chris. The ball was there to be won. There was Campbell, and well, what do you reckon? Did he take the man or what? Let's have a look.
I don't think they
it's
were
on the edge of the
another.
area anyway. I don't think it would have been a penalty if it had been given.
Well, what do you give here? Because they've both run into each other. It's not really, and both players are in a heap on the ground. Not really sure.
Yeah, well, I can tell you that Claire's the Charlton player that's down, along with Scott. Well, I think if I was the referee, Chris, I think I'd give it a drop ball. If you're not certain, if you're in doubt, I'd give a drop ball, quite honestly.
Well, I'm not sure what I think he's given a free kick in favour of Charlton here.
Well,
it's a bit of a difficult call to make, that one.
Yeah, it's a very difficult call to make. Whilst the players are receiving treatment, let's go quickly to Mike Hardiman, who's going to give us the final updates of the first half from Rotherham.
Perfect timing. There's been a goal as you come to me as well, and it's the home side that have just taken the lead. Rathbone won possession and squared it along to Smith, and Rotherham are the side that have broken through just about 2 minutes to go until half-time. Rotherham 1, Stockport 0.
Thank you, Mike. And what timing it was too, as you come back to me there, where Charlton were just leading out into an attack there, and the shot came and it was well charged away. So 1-0 to Charlton here in our live commentary, and 1-0 in the updates between Rotherham and Stockport. So Stockport with it all to do. But remember, they were trailing against Bolton a few times in that first round game. They came back from the dead, so you never can write off Stockport County at your peril. Meanwhile, Purrington played the ball in, and again, a foul there. So a free kick given to Gateshead. So I don't know what it is with me and coming to the right, going over to other games at the right time, Chris. But I certainly got that one right. Anyway, so Rotherham in front.
Nailed it,
yeah, well, I nailed it the other week in I forget now. I think it was a Premier League game or something or other. I was doing Manchester United Tottenham, and Ryan Francis was doing a National League match, and I went over and I said with 3 minutes to go, because my game was petering out into a 3-0 Manchester United win, and I just said casually, I wonder if there's been any late developments at Barnet, and there was a late winner for Barnet. So it's amazing what happens really when you just cross over there. You just cross over and hope. But anyway,
it's got that 6 cents.
I don't know where I got it from. I don't know who gave it me. My 6 cents. It certainly didn't come from any of my family. That's for sure. Anyway, free kick. 15 seconds from half time. But this is normal time. We might get a couple of minutes at the end of the first half. I'm not quite sure. We'll be checking on Sam Stockbridge on the far side, who's our fourth official, as a Football League referee of his own steam here. So we're into the board. Yeah, so again, that sixth sense is coming to play once again. And from Moir here, and a free kick to Gateshead, and a real opportunity here. This you fancy will be where Ollie can really send something decent into that Charlton penalty box. From the right hand side, he's going to be right footed and he'll hoist it very high, but it's far too close to Henderson, who gets a fist on it, not very far, then the shot back in. I think it might have been from Campbell. It was right footed, but it was straight down the goalkeeper's throat. And all of a sudden, Charlton are breaking away with Clare. And Clare now gets the ball over to the far side. And Yasmini now gets the ball back across, and it still might be a chance. And it's hooked away by Nicholson. And I tell you what, Chris, we had a couple of great opportunities there. It has actually been, in all fairness, in the last sort of 10 minutes or so, it's been actually quite end-to-end in the way that it's ebbed and flowed from one way to the other. It's just a shame we've only had one goal to show for it, really. When you look back at the first half as a whole.
The game's opened up since the goal, as Gateshead have kind of gone for it more, and Charlton have very much been soaking up the pressure, and they've been playing on the counter-attack the last 5 minutes or so. Is that a good cross? Oh, goalkeeper, don't flap at it. Goodness.
Oh, yes. The ball knocked away. We'll go to Mike Arneman at the end of the first half, I think, because we're nearly at the end of the first half here. We've got about 30 seconds just over to go in the first half. Me and Chris will take a half-time breather, sink a cup of tea together and share a 4-finger Kit Kat between us in the com box at half-time. Other chocolate biscuits are available, folks. I was going to bring a Victoria sponge up with me, Chris, but thought better of it. I didn't want to squash it. Anyway, here's Gilby.
Just as long as we share it vertically and you don't be one of these mad people who splits it horizontally.
You don't know how I cook. I don't think you know how well I cook, or how badly I cut Victoria sponge, Chris, to be quite honest with you. But anyway, Gilby ran the ball out of play. Anyway, it's a goal kick to Charlton to Gateshead, and that's it for the end of the first half. Quickly before we go back to Mike, your thoughts on a very, very good first half, Chris?
Yeah, obviously the first half an hour, very much Charlton dominance with isolated chances for Gateshead, kind of as you would expect by the script. Charlton got the opening goal, which has settled the nerves seemingly for both sides, and Gateshead have kind of come out of the trap since then and really pressured Charlton since then, and it's been open ever since, really. So they'll be delighted to go in there with their 1-0 lead intact. I think they'll be breathing a sigh of relief, but certainly a cracking game so far.
It has been a cracking game, and we'll hear from Chris in the second half alongside me. Me and Chris are now going to mute ourselves and take our half-time refreshment. And for the next 15 minutes, we're going to hand you back to the New York Stadium and to Mike Hardiman. Mike, 1-0 to Charlton at half-time.
Cheers for that, JB. So it's 1-0 to Charlton at half-time away at Gateshead. 1-0 to Rotherham here against Stockport. Michael Smith grabbing his 15th goal of the season just a couple of minutes there before half-time. That is the difference in the game here. And Rotherham deserve it, in my opinion. They've had other chances as well. In fact, as of Stockport, Rotherham almost doubled their lead just before the half-time whistle with an effort from Miller there. It was well saved by Hinchcliffe in the Stockport goal. And they've had chances of their own as well. Of course, the non-league side there, they certainly could have had a goal in this half. Quigley had a couple of chances for them. And he's obviously leading the line. He's done well leading the line for them as well. And looking very bright there. And had a really wonderful effort, really, which was saved by Vickers in the Rotherham goal before Rotherham went ahead. In the Championship, incidentally, it's Fulham 0, Bournemouth 0 in the top of the table clash there. So we're still awaiting the first goal in that one to see who comes out on top there. Of course, we've got some FA Cup coverage across the weekend as well, with Buxton tomorrow in action, with Russ Vernon covering that one. And obviously, I'm going to be covering Yeovil Town at home to Stevenage as well in the second round. See whether Stevenage are able to add to FA Cup glory this season, knocking out MK Dons in the last round as well after a replay. It was a great game, that one as well. I was live at that game, and it was a 120th minute penalty from striker Luke Norris. And then, of course, on Monday, we'll have Ryan Francis bringing Boreham Wood and St Albans to see which one of those non-league sides can get themselves into the hat for that third round draw. So lots of FA Cup coverage for you over the weekend. We're going to also bring you coverage of the women's final between Arsenal and Chelsea as well on Sunday, with Nicholas Jones in the commentary box for that one. So if you're into your women's football, then Sunday is the day you want to be tuning in and giving it a listen with Nicholas Jones there covering that. I wonder whether we'll have 20 goals. Probably not, but you can always live and hope. But as I was just saying there, of course, we'll have Premier League action as well. I'm going to be covering the game between Everton and Arsenal at Goodison Park on Monday to see whether it's Rafa Benitez's side or Mikel Arteta's side that can bounce back from their retrospective defeats against Liverpool and Manchester United. Of course, Michael Carrick left his role at Manchester United as well on the back of that victory yesterday. He hung up his coaching boots, well, not coaching boots, but his coaching badges as well for the time being, and decided to step away from Manchester United in that capacity after Ralf Rangnick coming in to be the new interim boss, who's going to take charge, of course, as of this coming Sunday. And we will have some more Premier League action, probably, no doubt, as well. In other games, we've got games over in Scotland with Annan beating Edinburgh by a 0-0. Inverness and Kilmarnock is 0-0 as well. So not too much to really report on at half-time. There's games over in Germany as well and Spain. FC Union Berlin and Leipzig is 1-1. Granada are leading against Alaves as well. In some of the other games there that are taking place. And, of course, in the feature game, it's Charlton that are leading by a 0-0 over Gateshead. So we're going to come to JB and Chris again shortly, but it's been an exceptional coverage there, an exceptional first half of football as well. Thoroughly enjoyed hearing that, whilst obviously keeping an eye across the Rotherham game here as well. And, two really good cup ties so far, where the non-league sides certainly have an opportunity to get back into it in the second half, because, 1-0 in both games, neither side are out of it. So they, certainly can make something happen. And I'm sure there's plenty of options, when they go to their subs benches that could be used as well. Incidentally, Mike Williamson of Gateshead was actually involved against Stevenage when Stevenage knocked Newcastle out years back. It was the year that Stevenage went on to get promoted from League 2. And Mike Williamson was on the wrong end of a defeat, but also an own goal as well. He was one of the goal scorers that day. Deflected, I think it was Stacey Long's effort past keeper. I believe Tim Krul was in goal that day for Stevenage. So Mike Williamson there knows all about FA Cup and being on the wrong side of results and moments in the game. But hopefully it's a bit more positive from him in the second half, and maybe for his Gateshead side as well. And as for Charlton, of course, everyone knows where they've been in recent years in the Premier League and, Championship, and then very, very well for themselves. Of course, they've slipped off the pace a little bit and slipped down a few divisions now, but are looking to get back up quickly and try and get themselves back up the divisions once more. But, of course, I'm going to see whether JB or Chris are back to kind of get a little bit more of an insight into that first half there. So either of you there?
Yes, I'm here.
Yeah, so we'll see whether we can get some more insight into how things have been going. And obviously it's 1-0 to Charlton at half-time. And are they deserving of that?
I'll let Chris answer first.
Yeah, I would say so. The first half an hour, Charlton isolated Gateshead to basically two half chances, really. And they were knocking on the door. It did feel like the goal was coming, and yeah, I think it's just about deserved the lead. And then obviously Gateshead kind of stepped it up a notch after conceding, and they've given themselves a real good chance to actually get back into the game now. So it'll be interesting to see what the halftime team talk do to the sides, whether Charlton continue to go for it, or which you would think they would be in the more dominant and bigger side. and whether Gateshead will throw caution to the wind and just chuck everyone forward, because this is their moment in the sun, even though the sun has gone down. But you get one.
Absolutely. No, and just come to you, JB, as well. When, if you're the Gateshead managerial team there at half time now, and you sort of, you're looking at that on a first half, and, knowing that obviously there's still opportunities there for your side to go and maybe get something from this game. What's the message that you're going to try and portray to your side?
Well, let's face it. They showed. I think they showed in the first half, but flashes of what they were about. Gateshead. They had 2 or 3 good opportunities. I think, to be quite honest with you, I think they'll want a bit more urgency. Maybe defensively, they looked a little bit sheepish. Certainly on the goal, I thought, but they're not out of this by any means, Mike. I think 1-0, you're never out of anything. This is the FA Cup. Things can happen, and the second half we'll also see how fit this squad will be. My concern from a Gateshead point of view is their strength of the bench. You look at Charlton's bench, you look at Gateshead. I know there's 61 places between them in the pyramid, but when you look at that and you just think, how good are these substitutes? We don't know. Gateshead are an unknown quality. An unknown quality. I'll get my words out one of these days. Anyway, they're an unknown quantity to us as commentators. But what I will say is, if they play with a bit more tempo, a bit more purpose, then they could cause Charlton problems. In the last sort of 10 minutes, as me and Chris have alluded to in the commentary, I think you can cause Charlton a lot of problems. This is still a dangerous league for Charlton. Let's not make any mistake about it. They're away from home. They're actually on a decent surface, but they're in a stadium that is alien to them. I don't think they'll have played in too many pitches with a running track round it. So it's still there to Gateshead, and you never know if they play with the right intensity, right tempo, right attitude, then you can still back them for at least a replay, if not win the game.
And absolutely, I'm just looking here at some stats as well with Langstaff. Of course, he's their top goal scorer with 10 goals for the season. And he's done that in, I believe, 12 games as well. So he's got some, really good stats there. Have you seen much of him, or has he been quite isolated up top?
For me, I think he's been okay, but he's been playing more out on the right-hand side. I think Scott's been more central of the 2 strikers at the moment, but Langstaff has sort of gone out to the right. I don't know how you feel about it, Chris. I think you might have noticed it as well, unless you've seen something different. But I'm certain that Langstaff has been more out on the right-hand side, hasn't he?
Yeah, he has. I feel like he's certainly been more of a creator in this game than he has been sort of leading the goal-scoring efforts. It's Adam Campbell, really, who needs to, I don't want to say get his act together, but the guy knows where the goal is. Last year he scored 19 goals for Darlington, so he knows where the goal is. He just hasn't been able to take his chances today. So second half, if he's a little bit sharper and starts hitting the target a bit more and away from the goalkeeper, because he's either missed the target or he's hit it straight at the keeper so far. If he gets his game going in the second half, then Gates have got a really good opportunity to get through, because the 3 guys they've got up front are all capable of scoring goals.
Okay, and of course, from a Charlton point of view as well, of course, they're leading 1-0 at the break there. And, we just mentioned there that, you both think that they're deserving of that. What would you say now? Would you say, if you're the Charlton boss, just more of the same and just a bit of professionalism to try and see it through now? Or do you want to really try and push on and get a second and maybe a third, etc.?
Yeah, I think it's more of the same. Be a bit more clinical with your chances, because 1-0 is a very dangerous lead, and 2-0 isn't really safe these days, because suddenly the opposition gets 1 goal and they've got momentum. But they'll look to just keep it simple, don't overcomplicate things, carry on as they were, which was dominating the ball a lot more than Gateshead. They've just got to recreate what they did in the first half an hour, because if they do that again for 45 minutes, then they've probably got this game in the bag. But this is the FA Cup. No one knows what's ever going to happen in any FA Cup tie.
No, absolutely. And of course, JB, we were talking about off air earlier on about the magic of the FA Cup. And it's, there's still plenty of time for these Gateshead players to write their name into a bit of history.
Absolutely. I mean, you've got television here tonight at Gateshead. You've got Alan Shearer watching you. You've got Chris Waddle watching you too. Great North East football legends. You know, I mean, where we are tonight is famous for the people, the Buddy Veets of Chris Ekabusi, Linford Christie, Sally Gunnell, Brendan Foster and Steve Cram. But they could make their own sort of history, footballing history here tonight. And they've got a big chance. At 1-0 down, they're not out of this by any means.
Okay, thank you very much there, JB, and also to Chris as well. Just before we go over to them, there's a few more games that have been taking place today, and there's one. There's been another goal between FC Union Berlin and RB Leipzig. It's the home side there that have now just gone 2-1 up with Baumgart. Is it Baumgartel getting the goal now, I believe, as well? My German is not as good as it used to be like 10, 15 years ago. But Union Berlin are the side that are leading 2-1. Granada are 1-0 up, and that's half-time now in La Liga as well. And there's also a game, I believe, in the women's internationals. I'll try and get the score for that at some point in a moment. But we're going to hand back over in a few moments to the commentary team of JB and Chris as well, of course, Chris Whiteman, for second half coverage. And of course, I'll continue as I was with updates from Rotherham and Stockport as well, with the home side still leading by a 43rd minute goal from Smith there. Michael Smith getting the goal there, which is the difference. Set up by Rathbone. And it's another game really where Stockport have to do it from behind in this competition, but have done, as JB rightfully mentioned earlier. Of course, I covered their game against Bolton Wanderers, and what a replay that was. What a game, of course, going into extra time with the away side coming out on that day as famous victors by, I think it was 5-3, I believe. It was a proper goal fest, that one. And JB, you're one that always says that you've not had a 0-0. Well, I've certainly had the best game of this season anyway, that's for sure. But I'm going to hand back over to JB and Chris now. I've probably still got a few moments until the two sides are coming out. But as Gateshead and Charlton are going to be getting themselves ready, we'll go back over to the two guys. And Gateshead 0, Charlton 1 at half-time. And let's see what happens with the second half and whether Gateshead and any of these Gateshead players can make themselves heroes now.
Thank you, Mike, and welcome back to Gateshead. Chris, how's your German these days? Any good as Mike's?
Nicht so good.
Oh, I'm not going to tell you my German. It's not even pronounceable for this show anyway. Right, anyway, back to the second half here. The teams are out. Just to answer Mike's query, we'll be dropping in on the New York Stadium for regular updates. And of course, something that CW alongside me does not know, because I've kept it secret from me for 45 minutes. You, my friend, in the second half, have to choose a player of the match around about the 85th minute mark. Oh, so excellent. You've got a decent job. So take some pressure off me. Because normally when I do a solo commentary, I've got to think of everything, including player of the match. So it's a nice feeling for me. Anyway, but I'm sure you'll have your thinking cap on for the next 45 minutes as the teams reconvene. So it's Gateshead to get us underway. Those black and white checks, and taking the goal to my left, and Charlton in the red shirts, white shorts, and red stockings attacking the goal to our left. There, 1 up, of course. Stockley with the goal in the first half, and Charlton have conceded an early throw in here in the second half. Now, can these Gateshead lads make themselves heroes in the next 45 minutes? Here's Campbell. Little dummy here. Chance here. Shot comes in. A great save. And an equaliser. Nice side netting. It was a terrific effort from Nicholson. And it's Adam Campbell who puts the rebound wide when Chris, he ought to have scored.
I think it was Langstaff, actually.
Langstaff, sorry.
Missed the follow-up. But, yeah, great chance. First 60 seconds, Gateshead straight out of the gates quickly. Yeah, too many gates in that sentence. But, yeah, it's been very rapid start from Gateshead. Certainly making sure Charlton are awake after that half-time team talk.
Well, if it hasn't woken them before then, nothing will. But, I've got to be excited then, just like I did on Sunday when when I got the wrong player. I said Lukaku had shot over, and in fact it was Rudiger. Russ had to tell me off air afterwards by error, but that's what I'm like with it.
To be fair, the way that chance came about, you would have expected that to have been Adam Campbell missing that chance, but Langstaff. This time it was Langstaff. He's got to take some of the flack this time. Should have scored.
Yeah, well, I blame ITV there for cutting to it because I thought he had the chance, you see. So, forgive me, listeners. It's the first time I've ever covered Gateshead, so please have some patience with me, please. Anyway, Fulham 0, Bournemouth 1. Goal in the Championship. Dominic Solanke has scored. So the leaders are behind at Craven Cottage. So Barry Swain, one of our bosses here at the TCL, well, one of the brains behind it, along with Mike and Russ, won't be an happy chappy tonight. If you're listening, Barry, sorry to say that, but there we go. Onside here is number 19, Scott, and he can't keep up with that, and he's behind for a goal kick. So Bournemouth in the Championship leading. Solanke with a goal at Craven Cottage. 1-0 in the other game between Rotherham and Stockport County at the New York Stadium. We'll be checking in around about 4 or 5 minutes with Mike Hardiman for a first update of the second half and see how things happened there. But it's a goal kick to Charlton, who are very fortunate at this stage of the second half, at this early stage of the second half, to be in the lead. That looked like hands there. Well spotted by the referee. Didn't look like a handball to me. Good spot that from Mr. Reeves.
Yeah, it could have been handball
Bailey,
from both of them,
offender.
to be fair. The way that the replay is about to show it. Could have been handball from both, but I think the Gateshead one was certainly more obvious than the Charlton one. I think it came off Charlton player's shoulder, to be fair, but yeah.
Well, maybe the referee was blinded to that possibly, and then of course he's obviously seen the handball by Bailey after the first handball. So it's a hard one for the referee to call, really, in some respects. He's had a decent game, actually, referee Tom Reeves. He's done okay under the circumstances, and he's given Charlton a free kick, which Lee's going to take from the right-hand side. Live on the TC Hub. We're also on JB Sports, my channel, Storm FM, which is Mike's channel, JDAT Football, and TC Hub 2. We're also live on Periscope, Twitter, and Twitch, by the way, if you want to listen to live streams on any of those platforms, if you don't have YouTube. Here's Lee with a free kick from the right-hand side towards the far post. Comes out to the far side, shot back in and over the top and hit the scaffold, the camera scaffold behind the goal defended by Chapman. And, they breathe a huge sigh of relief for the non-leaguers as Gilby hits it over the bar. 1-0 still to Charlton.
Good early chances for both in the first 5 minutes. It bodes well for an exciting second half, that.
Well, that's what we want to see, really. This is what cup-tie football is all about. End-to-end, exciting football. We've certainly had our money's worth here. If you've paid decent money to come over here, certainly the Charlton fans have. 600-mile round trip for them on a Friday night. And credit to them. They've really got about their business as well. Let's just check in whilst we're waiting. We'll wait for this throw-in. We'll see this throw-in out, and then we'll cross over to Mike Hardiman with news of a half-time substitution from Rotherham. In fact, it's a goal kick, so we can cross to Mike Hardiman very quickly now for that, for details of that.
Yeah, so the half-time substitution for the host, Wes Harding replaced Richard Wood in a Rotherham substitution. There's not really been much happening so far. It's been a little bit bitty at the start of the second half. There's been a few fouls given away retrospectively by either side, but still remains Rotherham 1, Stockport 0, and Harding on for Woods at the break.
Thanks, Mike. So no change in the score, but we've had a half-time substitution. I should also tell you that it's the same 11s as it was before, and I'll give you a recap of those when we get a break in play. As Bailey hits it down the line, looking towards Scott, who flicks it forward again, looking towards Langstaff, who missed that opportunity on the rebound. The ball out of play. Let me reacquaint you with the two teams again. This is Gateshead's 11. Chapman, Nicholson, Story, Williamson, who's the manager, of course, Bailey, and then it's Ollie, the captain, Tinkler, Ward, and Campbell, who missed two good opportunities in the first half. And then it's Langstaff and Scott. For Charlton, it's Henderson, Clark, and Louis, Ferrero, Purrington, Yaziri, Gimley, Dobson, Lee, Washington, and goal scorer Stockley, who scored his 9th goal of the season, incidentally, in that first half, which gives Charlton a 1-goal lead in the second half. There's been chances for both sides already in this second half. A cup tie which has really ebbed and flowed, really. The referee has given it every opportunity to let it breathe and let the game flow. And I like to see a referee do that quite often. And here come the underdogs here with Bailey now leading the charge. And he tried to get Scott away in that second half down the far side. But Gateshead coming out with a very good attitude at the start, Chris. Could have been level, but they could have conceded one themselves. But they've come out with a better attitude. And I think Mike Williamson must have said a few choice words in that dressing room at half-time. And knowing that they're still very much in this game.
Well, it's only 1 goal. And, that equalising goal can be a massive pendulum swing in terms of momentum. So it's very much... it's a great opportunity for Gateshead. They're still in a chance of being in the hat for the next round. So, the second half is going to be a long time for Charlton. Let's put it that way.
Well, speaking of the hat, if you haven't tuned into, of course, we've had Trevor's virtual FA Cup draw, Trevor Sports, that is. The FA Cup draw was streamed earlier tonight. And if you want to watch that particular third round draw, you can actually watch it after the game where me and Russ make the draw as part of the virtual Challenge Cup committee from Lancaster, from a mock-up of Lancaster Gate. So join us for that after the game. But meanwhile, as the ball is playing back into the penalty area, chance is here for Charlton. Good save to deny Washington by Chapman. And, Charlton could have easily put Gateshead in massive trouble there, in massive danger of going out. But we'll come to Chris in a second or two once the ball is out of play. We get a breaking play because here come Charlton again with Gibley. Gibley now will use Jazimi, who crosses it from the right. And it's tucked away, and it's got in. It's a second goal.
Finish.
And a terrific finish, as Chris said, by Purrington. Chapman didn't have a chance. And Johnny Jackson and his Charlton side have that second crucial goal. And Gateshead have got it all to do now in the second round of the FA Cup. Gateshead 0, Charlton 2. Chris.
Oh, it's an excellent finish. The technique on that volley is just superb from Purrington. He certainly got me purring with that finish. Although it's come off the setup has come off a Gateshead header that didn't quite go the right direction. As you can see in the replays, it's just flicked on by a Gateshead player. So a bit of
I think it might have hit Stockley and got in. I don't know who's going to claim that one.
I think I wondered what the goalkeeper was appealing for. He might have been. Was he in an offside position when that was played in? I'm not sure, but either way, it's 2-0, and Charlton, they'll be very happy with that to get an early goal in the second half to calm things down a bit. But Gateshead, no one's telling them to slow down. If anything, they're going to kick it up a notch a bit more.
They have to now at 2-0 down, and that's second goal is down to that's going to go down to the dubious goals committee. Was it Purrington's or Stockley's goal? Well, he certainly come off Stockley last, but I'm not sure whether he might have been offside on the second phase.
Well, he was offside when the cross came in, but obviously the offside applies to when the shot was taken in which he was level. So, but I think that's going to go down as a Stockley goal.
Well, we haven't had it confirmed yet on our monitors, but we thought it was Purrington. Now it's come off Stockley, and in fact, it's on the television they've said it's Purrington's goal. Well, I've got a funny feeling that could be Stockley's 10th goal of the season, if that's correct. But it's been credited to Purrington. So, but I've certainly got a deflection off Stockley's arm. But unless I'm imagining it, but ITV, the host broadcaster for this game, have said Purrington. So anyway, 10 minutes. Anyway, it'll all sort itself out in the fullness of time.
Let's put it this way. Purrington took the shot, and if it hit a defender and went in, if it was going on target, he would still be accredited to the goal. So let's go with that.
Good point, Chris. Good point. Here comes Chapman to take the cross from the far side, from Jazemi. But the important thing from a Charlton perspective is they're 2 goals up, and they've got themselves a little cushion. But as I said the other night at Goodison Park with Russ, with RV, it's 2-0 is still a dangerous lead. And we saw Everton score one before half-time that night. So you never can tell what might happen. But this is the FA Cup. You can say that Charlton are in another terrible 2 goals lead, but this is the Cup. Anything can happen. So
if anything,
we can't write up Gateshead just yet, Chris.
I feel like 2-0 is a more dangerous lead than 1-0 because at 1-0 you're on it the whole time, whereas 2-0 you kind of get comfy, you switch off a bit, and then if they get a goal, you might find it difficult to turn on your competitive attitude again. So I think Charlton, they've got to be careful here because a goal for Gateshead, again, would be a momentum shifter.
Well, it's all about the next goal now for Gateshead. They've shown at times that they can create chances. Of course, no substitutes have been needed. Of course, so far from either side. We'll break off for a second because, in fact, we'll go out for a throw. The ball's out for a throw-in, so we'll just cross quickly to Mike Hardiman for a progress report from the New York Stadium. Mike.
So still remains Rotherham 1, Stockport 0. The away side have just made their first substitution, though, and it's the front man, Paddy Madden, who's come on in place of Will Collar to see whether he can be the man that makes a difference there from a Stockport point of view.
Thanks, Mike. So no change in the score there, but substitutions galore down at the New York Stadium. But here's a chance now for Charlton. Really a loose ball there, and here's a chance now for Stockley to knock the ball into the penalty area, trying to create an assist this time. It comes to Ghibli, and I think the referee has given a free kick to Gateshead. Indeed he has, and here comes Tinkler now on this far side, the right-hand side. And Gateshead now need to speed up the tempo. They know they're 33 minutes away from going out the cup. Here's a chance from the far side for Campbell. He missed 2 gilt-edged chances in the first half, but he's lost possession. And a chance now for Charlton now to make it safe. A third goal, and you think it's game over. A goal back for Gateshead, and we've got a match with a vengeance.
Yeah, the tempo has gone up a notch as a free. I say that as a free kick.
Yeah, Nicholson's found his man. It's a free kick to Charlton.
It's interesting that just looking at the scoreline thing, BBC have credited Stockley as the goal scorer. So I'll let everyone squabble over who scored that second goal. But if Perrington hadn't volleyed it the way he did, the ball never would have been going in. So I think. But Stockley, of course, being the striker that he is, will definitely claim it. So they can argue over that in the changing room.
Yes, I was going to say, you can squabble over that in the changing room afterwards. Just get the job done from a Charlton perspective first, I think. You're quite right there, Chris. Anyway, free kick to Charlton, who lead 2-0. Whether it was Stockley's goal or Perrington's goal, it does not matter. The point is that Charlton are 2 goals clear, and if they could just manage the game well, then they will comfortably join the Premier League and Championship clubs who come into the third round in the hat for the third round, which takes place, incidentally, the real draw for the third round, not Trevor's draw, which you can see on Trevor Sports straight after this because it's now active on his channel. I'm sure me and Chris will be interested to see what happens in that draw as well when we come off there afterwards. We'll be watching on YouTube. That. Sorry?
I wonder who's presenting that draw.
A certain Mr. Lynham, possibly.
Maybe.
Anyway, me and Chris will be part of the virtual FA Cup on Trevor Sports. And, of course, don't forget, if you haven't seen on Chris's channel, of course, a little cross-promotion. If you haven't seen his brilliant Formula 1 series, Rise of Raven West, where he's actually got me in the Raven West team, funnily enough, as the weatherman. So I'm sort of the Raven West equivalent of Michael.
You're the team strategist. You're not the weatherman. Come on, get your job title right, sir.
Well, I was going to say version of Michael Fish, but if I'm the strategist, then that'll do for me. Yes, I will come in a little bit later on in the series, but I am credited in the first one. But if you haven't seen the episode, I suggest you check it out at the Virtual Sports Network channel, VSN. By Chris W. is his full title of his channel. It's a great series, and if you haven't seen Series 1, I suggest you watch that first before going on to Series 2 because it's Series 1 was excellent, and if Series 2 is just as good, then I think you're going to be in for one hell of a series this year, and I think it promises to be one hell of a series in Series 2 of the Rise of Waver West, a great series with Chris and with Trevor as well, who both provide very good commentary as Messrs Walker and Brundle, funnily enough, not Trevor Hunt as in the Trevor series when he's doing the Ayrton Senna one. Anyway, back to football and to Gateshead Charlton. Charlton 2-0 up as we rejoin it now with Lee on the far side, and uses Perrington. And Lee gets it back again on the far side. Back to Dobson, who's been a little bit quiet so far for me in this second half.
It's just got a bit bogged down in midfield, hasn't it? This sort of like last 5 minutes. It's sort of been pinging around in the middle.
It has a little bit, actually. But we've had 61 minutes. Gateshead 0, Charlton 2. If you've just tuned in to us here on the TC Hub. Of course, you can comment on all the social media platforms. We're on 4 YouTube channels, including 5 YouTube channels, including the TC Hub itself, JB Sports, JDAC Football, for John Kane's channel, of course, former commentator of ours. Very sorely missed, a very good commentator, and a key part of our European Championship coverage in the summer. But he's allowed us to stream the games on the channel, which is very nice of him to say that. And of course, we're on Storm FM, which is Mike's own channel, and of course, which is 10 years old, incidentally, Storm FM. And of course, we're also on TCM2, which is Russ Redden's very own channel. And we're also on Periscope, Twitter, and Twitch. Well, we'll get social. So if you want to leave a message, please comment nicely, please comment respectfully. And please note, on JV Sports, there's anything up to 7 moderators on at any one time during our live streams via the TC Hub. So just be warned, if you do send a very inappropriate live message, we'll have moderators on hand, whether it's me, CW, Trevor, or even Russ. Well, mind you, he'll be too busy watching Rotherham to work that out. And Newcated and people like that, we will stub it out, so you will not be repeating. But please keep your comments clean. Please keep them respectful. We are a family show, and we cater to all ages and all walks of life. Meanwhile, in this game, it's a free kick. I don't know who to. There's 2 players on the ground here. Williamson's one.
Is he given that? He's given that in favour of Charlton somehow.
Well, let's have a look. Yeah, he's tricked his man. If he's giving that to Charlton, then it's a very harsh decision, because he seemed to be, Chris. I don't know. Yeah,
he took out the Gateshead player after he passed the ball.
Yeah, he took out Williamson. He took out the manager. So that's a strange decision from referee Reeves. Of course, hails from Birmingham. And a free kick to Charlton then. A very fortuitous free kick, maybe. So a chance now for Lee to make it absolute, to take all the set pieces. Still no substitutions in the game. And, well, if this goes in, maybe half the Gateshead players will be ringing their taxi firm sponsor for a quick taxi home afterwards. But let's see. Free kick.
You'd like to get a discount for that.
Probably get about 70% discount. Mates rates, I think. Mates rates. Anyway, free kick. Free kick. Lee's going to take it. There's a 4-man Gateshead wall erected. I don't think Tom Rees is happy about the positioning of the wall. Doesn't look 10 yards to me. But maybe it's the camera angle. Maybe it's just my old eyes. I'm getting old in my age. But anyway, free kick. And it's going to be Lee who's going to take it, number 17. Tinkley, Holly, Williamson, and Langstaff are the 4 men in the wall. Can Charlton get that insurance policy of a third? And it's the free kick comes in right footed. Just sails over Chapman's crossbar and behind for a goal kick.
Goalkeeper had it covered, but that would have been probably the only major controversial moment of the match had that gone in, because I think there was a little bit of a dubious free kick to give there, but it is what it is. No help from technology or anything in this one. It's just how the referee saw it first time round, and we'll move on and live with it.
Absolutely, nothing came with that. Owen Bailey, in fact, for some misdemeanor, got a yellow card, incidentally. Maybe protesting too much to referee Reeves. There's been a goal in the Scottish Championship. Inverness, Cally Thistle 1. Kilmarnock 0. Welsh has scored. Meanwhile, in the cup tie here, it's a chance here for Gateshead. Ball up back across. The flag is up for a goal kick to Charlton. So nothing happens there. But we're going to go across to the New York Stadium for another update from Mike. Mike, it's all yours.
Thank you very much. So still remains Rotherham 1, Stockport 0. Stockport just had a chance a moment ago through Ashley Palmer. His header missed the target, though. And just before that, there was an opportunity for Scott Quigley to get the ball moving, but he was fouled as well on the halfway line. And we've had the booking for Macaulay South from Hales as well. A Stockport man has been shown a yellow. So still remains Rotherham 1, Stockport 0. And we've had around about 65 minutes. So still another 25 or so to go for any of these Stockport players to make themselves heroes and for Rotherham to see it out.
Thanks, Mike. We've had a substitution while we're away. Whilst we're away, Albie Lee has come on. Morgan has come on for Lee. So Charlton have made their first substitution. Gateshead yet to make a substitution. So Albie Morgan has come on. Have to see how that one pans out, but looks like it's like for like as the ball is knocked forward there by Nicholson. Looking towards Campbell. The ball might break here, and Scott is going to keep on running. I know one or two Gateshead players now, Chris. I think one or two Gateshead heads is starting to drop, and Charlton now starting to get a stranglehold on this game now, and it could be a question of time before they score a third, but you never know. We don't want to over-predict things, and we don't want to, obviously, with 67 minutes almost gone, we don't want to write off Gateshead just yet, but it's looking as if Charlton do look menacing every time they go forward. And what was the substitute doing there? Oh, the ball had already...
The flag was up. The flag was up. Don't panic. I think Gateshead could probably do with some substitutions being made right now because, in fact, that is exactly what's happening. I think Adam Campbell coming off?
Looks like Adam Campbell to me.
Yep, Adam Campbell off.
And a chance here for... we're not sure who it is, but we'll...
Two substitutions, look.
In fact, a double change. So obviously, Mike Williamson has seen it off, and we'll get those confirmed as soon as we get that from the TV people. But we'll find out for you. Don't worry. Don't worry, ladies and gents.
Williams is for Campbell.
Blackett's on, and Williams is on.
Yeah.
So Campbell is obviously one of the subs. So let me confirm that properly now. Adam Campbell is off. Paul Blackett is on, number 9. And then the other substitution, we'll try and sort that out in a second. Again, it's waiting for the TV coverage now. Dan Ward is the man come off for, and Luke Williams. I know a guy called Luke Williams, but he hasn't played in this game. But anyway, Luke Williams is on, number 15. So Blackett, number 9, and Williams, number 15, are now on as Gateshead now look to try and get themselves back into this FA Cup second round game. It's a goal kick now to Charlton, so they might have to wait a little while. And I wonder what they could do here, these two substitutions. As I said, we don't know much about Gateshead as it's an unknown quantity certainly to somebody like me. But what do you think fresh legs could do for a team like Gateshead? We're in this awful position of being 2 goals down. I mean, what do you do now? Do you if you're Mike Williamson, do you go for it? Do you throw men forward and risk losing a third? Or do you just be patient, knowing that you've got about 22 minutes to go, plus injury time, and then wait for the chances to come? What would you do in this situation? Wait a minute, just hold that forward. There's a chance here now. There's a chance for Gates. Oh, it's over the top. It's over the top. And that was the chance they were waiting. And it was Langstaff, the top scorer. With 10 goals going into this game, he was onside because Clare was playing him on, and he's hoisted out with the left foot. Maybe Henderson may have put him off by spreading himself like an eagle, but still, that was a very big chance wasted.
You've got to hit the target as a bare minimum there. You 1-on-1 with the goalkeeper. This was their big chance. I think this will probably be the moment which you circle as the chance to get back into the game and bring some momentum back, because you don't get any better chances than that. 1-on-1 with the goalkeeper, no defenders in between, and he's blazed it over the bar. Maybe the pressure got to him.
Well, it wasn't as if he had plenty of time to size up the opportunity. Here? Oh, this is ridiculous. It's 6 of one, half a dozen of the other. This is no need to happen. I understand.
Just give him the ball back. Come on. Jazami is number 7 for Charlton, is just being very petulant by not giving them the ball back. Yeah. 20 minutes to go. It's just wasting time.
Well, the referee will add time on at the end. I don't think there's any question about that. But, yeah, you're quite right. Yazamini, it was petulant in the extreme. But, well, I don't think he's going to be very popular with the sponsors Gateshead Central camps tonight, to be quite honest with you. But what a big opportunity. But in a serious note, what an opportunity wasted there for the non-leaguers. But here comes Charlton now with Gilby. Gilby gets the shot in, charged away on the edge of the penalty area. And it's been that sort of night, really, where Gateshead have had the opportunities, but just haven't been able to finish. He's going to have to walk home.
Yeah.
That was Mike. That was Mike. Cheeky Mike. We'll come to Mike in a minute for a progress report. Meanwhile, Charlton come forward. The ball's out of play. Let's see what's been going on at the New York Stadium. Has there been an equaliser yet from Stockport County, Mike?
So at the moment, it still remains Rotherham 1, Stockport County 0. And there's no walk-in here. Nobody's leaving early or anything like that. Still plenty of time in this one for either side to grab that all-important next goal.
Thanks, Mike. I'd like to see the look on Russ Murden's face if Stockport score. That'd be worth paying a few quid to see that look on his face, because he is a local lad. If you me and Chris know Chris, me and CW know Russ very well. Not facially, but we know about his origins and everything. He's a Rotherham lad, and he's a Leeds fan, but he has a soft spot for the Millers. I'd like to see the look on his face when, if and when Stockport, if they get the equaliser there. But we'll be keeping you right up to date with the events down at the New York Stadium down in South Yorkshire a little later on. Charlton, meanwhile, are going to make a substitution, and it's
he's getting a warm reception leaving the pitch, isn't he? After that little bit of argy-bargy. I don't think he's going to be very popular in Gateshead tonight. Connor Washington's also another player going off as well. So it's a double change from Charlton. The two players that are going to come on are Jonathan Lecco and Josh Davidson. So Charlton now getting fresh legs on the field. That's substitution number 3, is it? Yeah, that must be the second. 2 and 3.
Yeah, 2 and 3. I think you can make something up to 4 substitutions, I think, in a cup tie. I'm not sure. I don't know if the 5 rule applies anymore. I'm not sure. I'm trying to keep up with these substitute rules. I only thought they brought them in because of the lockdown last year, but I don't know. But it's hard to keep up with the new rulings these days. I tell you, even an old 38-year-old, even at the ripe old age of 38, trying to keep up with all the rule changes is a very hard business, I tell you, when you're doing commentary. Anyway, here's a chance now for Lecco to get his first touch. He did, but the ball's been given away now. Chances here now. The ball wasn't a very good one, and then there might have been a possibility that Flagstaff might have been offside anyway. But so we're coming up towards the 17 minutes to go mark. Well, we're coming up to 16 minutes to go mark. 20 seconds shy of that, obviously. But time now starting to run out for Gateshead. But here comes number 10 now, Morgan. This is Albie Morgan. Carries it well. Purrington can't reach it. It is a throw into Charlton. Tinkler's conceded the throw in, and the two number threes pat each other on the back. It is a Charlton ball. But time now starting to run very thin for Gateshead. If they're going to win the game, maybe their best hope is possibly getting 2 back for a replay, maybe at the Valley, as the ball runs dead. Oh, it isn't run dead. It's kept in, and in fact, it has gone behind. I didn't think it went behind, Chris. I must admit. I
think he's given a free kick.
Purrington's been penalised. I think that's what it's happened. Yeah, so that's what's happened. But as I was saying, Chris, time now really running out now for Gateshead now.
Yeah, they need a goal sort of in the next 5 minutes to give themselves any chance of staying in the hat. But it's Charlton have managed the game really well. They've done a professional job of it, and they have been the more dominant side. But Gateshead will look back at this game so far and they'll be kicking themselves for not taking the chances that they've had, because they've had some really good chances. Adam Campbell, obviously, he's left the field, had some really good chances in the first half. And Langstaff had a really good chance, that one-on-one earlier, which he should have at least hit the target with. He'll be kicking himself over that one still. Yeah, and we've got a big cup final coming up on the TCM on Sunday, by the way. The Women's FA Cup final delayed from the last season. Nicholas Jones will be your fox in the commentary box at Wembley Stadium on Sunday, joining from just around about 2 o'clock for all the commentary action from Nicholas, who is our main women's football commentator for the season. Meanwhile, it's Lecco now. Machado, oh dear me, got into the position to try and shoot from the right-hand angle. And when he went to shoot right-footed, Chris completely slipped over on his backside. Almost like Tova Dean on ice there for a second. Goal kick to Gateshead, still 2-0 to Charlton. thinking he used to have a word with the kit man to get him some longer studs. That was just, it's like he'd stepped on some ice then at the last second. Brilliant stuff.
It's like Tovo and Dean on ice. Anyway, it was a goal kick, but it was wasted. Here comes number 11 now, Gilby, who's got plenty of space in that midfield area. And here's Lecco, right-hand side, edge of the area. Lecco with the cross. It's too deep. And Gateshead now starting to tire as well. Ball knocked away there by Scott, who's now taking a much deeper role. And it's and obviously Blackett's up front now alongside Langsam. So it means that, as I say, Scott is taking a more deeper role. But it's Charlton coming forward again. And it's Purrington. Well, we'll debate whether that second goal will be down to him or will it be Stockley's goal. If it is Stockley's goal, that is his 10th goal of the season. If it is to be that way, Purrington could have 4 if it's credited to him. So he started the night on 3. So at the moment, it's we're not quite sure who's going to claim that as the cross comes in from number 10 there, Albie Morgan. It's knocked away once more. We're into the last 13 minutes plus stoppage time at the end of what's been a decent cup tie tonight. It's been a very good watch. Very entertaining affair between 2 committed sides, but it's the League One side, the team that are 91, that are something like 61 places above Gateshead in the pyramid that are headed into the hat, where they could face Manchester United, they could face Manchester City, Liverpool, Aston Villa, Manchester United, haven't I? Tottenham Hotspur, possibly Burnley as well. Wouldn't that be a good tie? Charlton against Burnley. Peter, the 1947 Cup final, if that was to be the case. But we're a long way off from the third round draw. The real third round draw takes place on Monday. But if you want the virtual draw, Trevor Sports is the place to go afterwards. Join Masters, Lynham, Hill and Hanson for that one, with a couple of guest appearances from TCM regulars, myself and Russ Vernon, as we call the balls out in the draw itself. So plenty to come there, and a bit of a surprise. And I won't tell you too much else, but there's 1 or 2 other surprises to come in that as well. So, but I'm not going to tell you much else. There's an injury going on there, and Mike's just been on, and he said that Stockley's goal, maybe we need VAR. They would have got that one sorted out at Stockley Park. Well, whether who claims that or not, Johnny Jackson won't give 2 hoots about that. And so we've got a Gateshead 3 kick. I mean, they've got a full caution to the wins now. They're 2-0 down. They've got 12 minutes plus injury time, and maybe a fair chunk of that, maybe 3 or 4 minutes. That's a pure guess, really. But we've seen tonight they are capable of getting opportunities. It's just taking it that's been the problem, I think, for Gateshead. I think that's what's let them down a little bit tonight. In fairness, CW, isn't it?
Yeah, I think if they could have been a bit more clinical with their opportunities, hit the target a bit more, they could well have been in this game a lot better, because 2-0. It flatters Charlton a little bit, but Charlton have very much been the dominant side. But Gateshead should have at least had a goal. There's a Gateshead player on the floor as well there.
Yes, I've just noticed it. Yeah,
that's
not sure who.
Gateshead, I think they'll look back at this game and go, we could have got a couple of goals tonight. But Charlton, they are good value for their lead. So
yeah,
I don't want to discredit them. Yeah,
and it's Flagstaff who's the injured party. Maybe a bit of tiredness, maybe a muscle strain or something. It's been a hard slog for these Gateshead lads, but they've not been disgraced, as Chris rightly said there in his analysis just then. Just needed to be a bit more clinical with the finishes, be a bit more savvy. Flagstaff is possibly not being able to continue. They are preparing a substitution, incidentally, Gateshead, the third one, with 10 minutes to go plus injury time. They're 2-0 down in the cup against Charlton, but I don't want to make assumptions that Charlton are going through. They probably need an insurance policy of a third, maybe, but time is running thin on Gateshead. But as we've seen so often down the years in the cup, anything can happen. Langstaff has gone off, and what an opportunity now for this young man here, Paddy. If he can make himself a bit of a hero and get Gateshead back into this, I don't think he'll be needing to pay Gateshead central cabs anybody for years to come. But also Charlton are about to make a substitution, I fancy as well. We'll get it all confirmed for you in just a second. It looks like Suari's going to come on for them. Paddy's going to come on for Gateshead. We don't know who the players are going to come off, but we'll get that confirmed again on the television monitors. But looks like Solari's come on. Paddy has definitely come on. We don't know who they've each replaced. But as I say, we'll get that confirmed with the tellies there, with the TV guys. It's Macaulay Longstaff that came off, and Connor Paddy's now on. What a chance to make himself a little bit of an hero for Gateshead now, as they look to try and claw a 2-goal deficit back, maybe try and force a replay. They may as well have a goal for caution to every possibility of a win. They've got every opportunity now to do it. They've made chances. They know they can make chances. They just need to take them. Ben Purrington's got off, and Papa Suari comes on, a very well-known name, played at Premier League level. So with CW will be in about 6 minutes from now having to choose a player of the match, and that is sponsored incidentally by Commentary Services. We'll get a break in play. We'll cross the mic because we've had quite a lot of activity as regards to subs bench and maybe a little bit of action too. But when the ball goes out of play, we will join Mike at the New York Stadium and for another update. But at the moment, the ball's still in play, and here comes Ollie now. A chance here. Oh, good goalkeeping. Terrific goalkeeping by Henderson, because Blackett was going in there. Henderson has hurt himself in making that save. It was a good break there from Gateshead there, Chris. I was calling you Russ there for a second, but brave goalkeeper there by Henderson.
It was, yeah, sticking. Well, you've got to be both brave and a bit mad to jump at somebody who's running towards you.
Well, we've both been goalkeepers in a previous life, haven't we? So yeah, we know exactly how it is.
So he's taken a blow to the head. They're just doing the usual concussion check at the minute. Yeah,
and I hope the physios take as much time as is possible over that. Meanwhile, we've got that to contend with. Let's go over to the New York Stadium, as we see a shot there of one of the greatest, Newcastle's greatest sons there, a certain Mr. Shearer with his face mask on. Whilst we look at him, let's go across to the New York Stadium and check in with what's happening at Mike. Quite a lot of flurry of substitutes, Gara.
Absolutely. It's been substitutes galore at the moment for both of these two sides. Rotherham have now made their 5 substitutes. As for Stockport, they've made 3. Joe Mattock was the latest man to come on in place of Mikael Miller. Also, Hakeem Odafin is on as well, as is Will Grigg. And Stockport have brought on Liam Hogan, and they've also just brought on Connor Jennings a moment ago as well. So still remains Rotherham 1, Stockport 0, but plenty of action from the bench, and both managers really trying to throw everything at this now in the final stages of this cup tie.
Thanks very much, Mike. We'll come back to you later on in the second half with any goals. If there's any goals going at the New York Stadium, we will let you know straight away here on the TC Hub. Well, we've got 6 minutes to go in our live commentary game at the Gateshead International Stadium, where it's Gateshead 0, Charlton 2. Johnny Jackson's side going through. Gateshead manager Williamson. Mike Williamson, it's a night to forget. He had a few bad times, of course, in Newcastle, black and white stripes. I seem to remember, I think he had a bad game once in a 3-3 draw against Burnley. I seem to recall a few years back. But of course, he's now taken control now. There's Stockley, number 9, the captain. Well, you just feel now maybe their last chance went with Langstaff's last miss there, Chris, really, because if only they'd taken that chance, they may have had a glimmer now with 5 minutes to go plus stoppage time, but I think time is now running out for Gateshead now. You have to say now with 5 to go.
Yeah, we're in the last chance saloon, really. They sort of need a goal now, and then they've got to hope there's a lot of extra time after that stoppage with the goalkeeper getting checked for concussion. But time is very much their enemy, and all Charlton have got to do is be smart and just play the clock, and they should see this through.
Well, they're going to see another substitution now. Off comes number 20, Bailey, for Gateshead. And we're going to see number 4 here, Hunter. So Owen Bailey is off and Jack Hunter is on. No relation to the late great Norwood, of course, but of Leeds United fame. But anyway, it's a throw anyway. It's Charlton's throw, and it's straight away. Here's Ollie trying to get a chance here. Oh, now then. Well, it's a possibility of a foul, and on Blackett now, is that a yellow card? Yeah, it is a yellow. Other sources may have said red, but Blackett was certainly pulled down. There'll be a question whether there was covering defenders, Chris. What do you think? Yellow or red for you?
I'd say it's a yellow. I think the angle was against him, and there was a second defender.
Yes, Claire was the covering defender, actually. Yes.
So I think he's got away with that.
He has a bit there. There's been an equaliser in the Championship. Awari's booked. Adebayo. Why did he give me these penultimate days? Anyway, Fulham have scored. The ladies have equalised. So, Barry, if you're listening, your team are out of jail. One apiece there in the Championship. Between the top 2, incidentally, Bournemouth and Fulham. Who've got a bit of a gap between them from themselves and West Bromwich Albion and Coventry, who are right in there in those playoff places. Anyway, free kick to Gateshead. 3 minutes to go. We'll be asking Chris for his player of the match in just a second or two after this set play. Of course, we'll be towards the end. We'll be checking in one last time to the New York Stadium for an update from Mike. Free kick now. They've got to make this count. Here it comes from the captain. In towards the back post. Williamson hits the bar. And a great save. Can it 49 down the card? Saved on the line. And there's an almighty pinball machine scrambling there. Williamson hit the bar. There was another header in there. I couldn't tell who it was. It was well saved by Henderson. It literally was centimetres from going over the line. Henderson made the save. And now it's Charlton's turn to counter. We'll cross to Chris in a second or two for his analysis. In fact, the ball out of play, it's a Charlton throw, but Chris, that really was, well, as you were saying, last chance saloon, and Mike Williamson hits the bar.
Well, it's Henderson looking like an octopus there, making a borderline triple save. It was tipped it onto the bar, saved the immediate follow-up, and then the third follow-up, he gets both hands and flaps at it and keeps it out. That's all that matters, but Gateshead, I think it just summarises Gateshead's game, really. Doing everything just about right, apart from scoring a goal. Yes,
and so we'll come to you in a second because we're going to see this Charlton throw-in out. In fact, Gateshead get possession, and then the ball is hoisted forward. Let's see if Gateshead can score from this next attack, but they can't. There's Wacken has gone down holding his space. I wonder if there was an elbow thrown there, a possibility. Look, might be purely accidental, but certainly looked certainly holding his space there. We've had it all here tonight at the International Stadium in Gateshead. A place well renowned for track and field, usually renowned for people, of course, famous for Brendan Foster, Steve Cram and the like. But tonight it's been Stockley and Farmington's night here in this arena that's seen so many great sporting triumphs in athletics. The England side winning the Great Britain side winning the Athletics European Cup in '89. Chris Akabusi and all. So many great things happened here. Christy Lewis in 1993 over on the far side of that 100 metres when Christy absolutely blew away Carl Lewis in that never to be forgotten race. Well, they both earned $100,000 for it. In those days, it was a lot of money. Not now, due to inflation. Anyway, Chris, I need to ask you now for a player of the match in association with Community Services. Who have you put for tonight, mate?
Well, I've got to go for Purrington. I feel like his contributions on that far side for Charlton. I know he's on the bench now after being substituted, but he was causing all kinds of problems on that far side. Technically has an assist to his name, but it's his goal, really. Yeah, I mean, the technique was excellent. He got it on target. Should be his goal. But yeah, I feel like his contribution on that far side really caused problems for Gateshead. They haven't really been the same since he left the pitch, Charlton, to be honest. They haven't really created any chances since. So I think he's been the major factor that's made this Charlton team tick today.
Absolutely. I would agree with that, actually. He's been really, really good at Purrington. We'll go across to Mike in a second or two. We'll just see this Gateshead attack out. So Purrington, just to remind you, it's Ben Purrington who, to give him his full name, he gets the player of the match. And I think I think that's a fair enough choice, and I think no one would argue with that. And another wasted chance there again, this time from Blackett. Let's just quickly go for the final update from Mike Hardiman. Any chance of Stockport trying to get a replay out of this? Still 1-0 as we last left it. Mike.
So it's still 1-0 to Rotherham as things stand at the moment. We're into 5 additional minutes of added time now. The last chance there was a couple more substitutions. John Rooney's now entered the fray, and Arjan Reiki has come on for Ryan Crosdale and Mark Kitchen, as Stockport really just try and throw everything, including the kitchen sink, at Rotherham now in the hope for that equalising goal. But into 5 additional, Rotherham still holding firm and leading 1-0 as things stand.
Thanks, Mike. We'll come back to you at full time for the wrap-up here at both stadiums. So as things stand, Rotherham and Charlton are both looking like going through into the, absolutely for sure, into the hat for the next round. But they play 5 minutes. We've had nearly 2 of the 4 minutes. But Gateshead have really acquitted themselves very well in front of a live television audience, in front of the TC Hub tonight. And we've really enjoyed having them as part of the TC Hub tonight. And it's been nice, actually, having Chris Whiteman alongside me again. We were last commentated together at Barnsley for JB Sports. Well, my channel had independent commentary coverage. But our first commentary together for the TC Hub. And I think it's been quite successful, Chris, when you look at it. We'll just break off for a second because here's Kimberley now. Chance here now for Charlton to try and put the game well and truly beyond Gateshead's reach. But I think they're just going to just keep possession, I think, rather than just go for that third killer goal. The game's already been won anyway. I think it's been a successful night, Chris, for us in the commentary box. Have you enjoyed yourself here at the TC Hub?
Yeah, I have. It's dusting off the old commentary line book and everything. So it's been good to be back watching the game and to watch it at this level, where I personally very much love lower league football these days. As the Premier League might have the best standard, but in terms of my personal enjoyment, I love lower league football, and the FA Cup early rounds is certainly awash with brilliant moments, and ultimately you get to show all these smaller clubs, these tight-knit communities that are sort of band together for their little team to get their moment in the sun. But tonight has been great, and just to touch on the match, obviously I feel like Charlton are worthy winners at this point, but Gateshead can hold their heads high. They've done really well tonight. They'll be kicking themselves a little bit on those chances that they could have and should have taken, but it's no shame going out in the FA Cup at this stage, especially when you're not a professional team. You're a non-league side against a team like Charlton, who used to be in the Premier League not too long ago. So there's no shame in tonight.
Oh, absolutely right, Chris, and I think that's a very good point to make. But anyway, we've played almost the 4 minutes. We've got a free kick now. Charlton will. No, they're not even going to take the free kick. The final whistle has been bolted by the referee, Tom Reeves of Birmingham, and it's Johnny Jackson and his Charlton side who march on into Monday's third round draw. I'm going around too quickly there, but it's they're into the third round draw on Monday. You can hear that with us on the TCM and all TCM platforms before we bring you that commentary game, 4-1 versus St Albans, who were the main giant killers last round. So at least one of those teams from non-league will be in the hat. Will be in the third round anyway. They'll certainly be in the hat before then because they will play after the draw. But Charlton, a very good performance. Stockley with the first goal. There will be a debate whether the second one's credited to Purrington or to Stockley. Certainly to me, it came off Stockley, although TV have confirmed it was a Purrington goal. But a terrific performance from Charlton. Very good professional performances as the two managers there, Mike Williamson and Johnny Jackson, have a bit of a conference over on the pitch there. And all in all, really, Chris, summing up, it was a professional job by Charlton, and as we've said, touched on so many times, Gateshead had the chances, but in the end, they just couldn't finish.
Yeah, a very professional performance by Charlton. They dominated most of the game. They sort of took their foot off the gas a little bit after about the hour mark. which I guess is kind of trying to conserve their players for both the league and potentially the next round. But yeah, Gateshead, they were good. Gateshead really pushed Charlton. They just couldn't hit the target at the right times. You know, the major chance, I think, the turning point in the match, which kind of highlighted which way this game was going to go, was when Langstaff missed that one-on-one opportunity early in the second half. I think if he scores that, then we have a very different game on our hands, and Charlton wouldn't have been feeling anywhere near as comfortable. But Charlton were excellent. They managed the game really well. They were prolific when they needed to be, and they just showed that little why they're in the Football League. You know, why they're, you know, a team of their stature. You know, they knew how to manage the game. They took their chances when they came along, and they saw it out pretty well. They didn't just kept it all safe and sound at the back. So, yeah, nothing to be ashamed of for Gateshead. They'll just be a little disappointed that they couldn't get a goal tonight, because they had the chances. That's what's going to be said. They had the chances to score goals today, and they somehow managed not to, which is a shame for them. But Charlton, well played. They deservedly go through to the next round.
Yeah, absolutely. So the final score there at the International Stadium in Gateshead. No shock tonight, I'm afraid, Mike. Charlton doing a very good job and winning this FA Cup second round tie by 2-0.
Thank you very much, JB. Thank you, Chris, as well, for your excellent coverage there as Charlton progress through into the third round draw. Rotherham have done the same here. 1-0 winners over Stockport. Michael Smith, first half goal was the difference for Paul Warren's men, making it 18 games without defeat in all competitions now for the Millers. There was a bit of opportunity towards the end, a couple of corners in quick succession for Stockport County to try and get themselves an equaliser, but it was Rotherham that were able to hold on in the end, and they go through to join Charlton in Monday's third round draw. And we're going to wrap it up there. So thank you very much to JB, also to Chris as well. We'll be back tomorrow with Russ Vernon covering Buxton against Morecambe to see whether Buxton and the Water over there are able to get themselves into the third round, or whether it's the Morecambe side that are able to join Charlton and Rotherham in the hat. And then, of course, I'll be back as Yeovil entertain Stevenage that evening as well, before we cover Boreham Wood and St Albans on Monday. So with the action coming to conclusion now, we're going to leave it there for this evening. Charlton and Rotherham both progress into the third round of the FA Cup. Gateshead and Stockport County just fall short, but they can certainly be very proud of their efforts. Thank you, and join us again tomorrow afternoon to see whether Buxton and Yeovil can do the same and get themselves into Monday's draw. Thank you to JB and to Chris. We'll be back tomorrow lunchtime for Buxton against Morecambe with Russ. So you've been listening, of course, to the Commentary Hub, JDAC Football, JB Sports, Storm FM, Commentary Hub 2, and across Periscope. Not Periscope anymore, is it? It's Twitter and Twitch as well. Great games, great coverage there from JB and Chris as well, making his Commentary Hub debut and enjoying it, as he said there as well. And we'll be back for more action tomorrow afternoon. But it finished Gateshead 0, Charlton 2, Rotherham 1, Stockport County 0. And we've also had Fulham and Bournemouth been updated on as well. And that's 1-1 in that game between the two sides at the top end of the Championship. Thank you for listening. Join us tomorrow to see what happens as Buxton take on Morecambe and Yeovil take on Stevenage in more FA Cup coverage. Cheers, everyone. Enjoy what's left of